What's going on, Couch Fam? I just want to take a quick moment to thank you guys for all the support. It really means a lot to me, and I just had to say that before we jumped into this video. And I truly believe Fantasy Couch community, the Couch Fam, is the best fantasy football community. But let's not get sappy. It's week 12. Wow, already week 12. And we got to get a win this week. Let's concentrate. Let's get the W. Let's have fun, but we got to win to have fun. These are my week 12 fantasy football waiver wire ads. And for it being this late in the season, we should be very thankful that there's some really good ads. Not too many good quarterback ads, some good running back ads, not too many wide receiver ads, but we're going to have some great ads at tight end, defense, a lot of defense, and some really good kicker streamers. We've been pretty good on streaming kickers this year so far. By the way, guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. And I upload the best waiver wire videos, the best fantasy football live streams, best fantasy football advice. So if you want that, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you don't miss future videos. And YouTube, please get the subscribe notification glitch fixed, please. People aren't getting the videos in their notifications. Anyways, let's start off with the quarterbacks to add. It's really these top, well, I guess we can say top four. I think Tua's going to really bounce back this week against the Jets. They're tanking, and they're tanking hard. Now, the Jets wide receivers are doing okay, but other than, a little bit of a pass game going on, enough to put up some garbage time fantasy points for us. But other than that, they're really hurting, especially in the secondary. Their best corner was out, and they're just not going to be able to do anything in the secondary. So this should be a great bounce back game for Tua. Carson Wentz going up against the worst pass defense. Still don't trust him, and he really lost our trust last week. I mean, it was already lost, but he didn't perform well last week, and he put up some really good numbers in the second half and in garbage time if you were to start him last week. But the first half, he was really bad, made some really terrible mistakes, and just completely lost the trust in fantasy owners. But like we said in the beginning, or like I was projecting, he would be very volatile and a very risky quarterback, and that's exactly what he's been so far this year. He's had some really good games too. Has had a couple really great fantasy performances, and a lot of duds too. Derek Carr is becoming one of the more trustworthy streaming options going against the Falcons, and the Raiders defense is pretty bad. It's really hard to miss right here. He should have a decent floor. Now, it could be a completely Josh Jacobs game, but we haven't seen that in a while, since like week 1. He's only had maybe 2 or 3 games where it's like, all right, Raiders are just going to use Josh Jacobs and just run out the clock. That's really not the Raiders game script, especially with their bad defense. So Derek Carr, good start. And Taysom Hill, I got him number 1, I guess. I mean, he's playing the Falcons again, week 13, and playing the Broncos this week. Not a good matchup, I would say, for Taysom Hill. Well, I can't really say it's a good nor bad matchup. Taysom Hill is quite the wild card, and he balled out last week, looked great. Brought Mike Thomas back to life, too, which was a complete shocker. I did not see that coming. Other than those 4, and really these 4 aren't really that great, but I do want to give you guys pickups in case you are in a deep league, in case you're desperate, want to look for a backup quarterback, or you're in a dual QB or super flex league. I do have lots of options for you. I'm going to go through the rest really quick, though. So at number 5, we got Jared Goff, then Matthew Stafford, who's been struggling a lot this year, and even more so because they're trying to be more of a run team, incorporate the running backs more, and Kenny Galladay's been out for most of the season. Alex Smith, Daniel Jones, Phillip Rivers, good matchups coming up. Andy Dalton looks decent. What is he, 2 for 3? 2 good games, 1 bad game, something like that. 2 good games and 2 bad games. I don't know. I think he's okay. And then we got Kirk Cousins, but keep tabs on Adam Thielen. He has a chance to return, but maybe he won't. He is on that special reserve list. PJ Walker, if Teddy Bridgewater can't go. My guess is Teddy Bridgewater is going to play this week. Well, actually, I don't. Actually, I take that back right away. I don't know if he's going to play this week. Then we got Baker Mayfield, Joe Flacco, or Sam Darnold. Maybe Sam Darnold is able to return. I think he will. Then we have Nick Foles and Trubisky. Both are benched and both are hurt. I know that doesn't make any sense, but it is true. Ryan Finley is taking over for the Bengals. I just feel horrible for Burrow. Pretty much suffered the worst knee injury possibly could. Hopefully he'll have a somewhat speedy recovery and be ready to go next year. Keep your hopes up, Joe Burrow, if you're watching this. I know you are. And we got Gardner Minshew, another benched hurt situation on a team that's pretty much tanking. I know it's a bad word, but we're using it for the Jaguars. Okay, so we went through all that. There really weren't any quarterbacks to add, just to be honest. There are running backs to add, though. Devontae Freeman is going to miss at least one more week. I'd assume he's going to miss a lot more than that, maybe even the entire season. So you definitely want to get Wayne Gallman. Gus Edwards is going to be the hot add this year with Dobbins and Ingram both out this week. Now, keep in mind, there are 3 games this Thursday, Thanksgiving, Turkey Day. There are no bye weeks this week as well. And also, the weather looks great for every single game. Only game that's a slight concern, which really no concern at all. The most windy game is probably going to be that Packers game. So just keep tabs on that if the winds do pick up, but shouldn't be a problem for really anything. So yeah, Gus Edwards, the hot pickup. Wayne Gallman, I think a little bit of a sleeper pickup. He's kind of forgotten, and he's not on a popular team, the Giants. James White should be added in every PPR league, because he's a PPR monster and he's back. Rex Burkhead out for the remainder of the season. Sony Michel and Damian Harris don't catch too many passes. So James White is back and very fantasy relevant now. Frank Gore has outlasted all the Jets running backs. Outlasted any running back, period, basically. He's still going strong. LaMichael Pirine is out. Le'Veon Bell's on the Chiefs. Frank Gore is the man for now. It's crazy, but I don't know about you. I think he belongs in the Hall of Fame. Just a great story. Rooting on the guy. Sucks that he's on the Jets, though. Would have been a great backup or third string running back on a great team. I really think that would have been an awesome story. Maybe he plays another year. I don't see why not if he's healthy. Devontae Booker in PPR leagues. Really, yeah, now we're getting into deep league territory here. Cam Akers. It's a real 3-headed monster for the Los Angeles Rams. They're going with the hot hand. All 3 of them are getting a shot. I even saw Malcolm Brown. Now, he wasn't used a lot, but Malcolm Brown was still used, and he's a pretty good touchdown vulture running back. So be very wary of these Rams RBs. Tevin Coleman's returning from injury soon. Ty Johnson, the number 2 running back for the Jets. Justice Hill will be the number 2 running back for the Steelers, I think, unless they use Picard, or whatever, fullback. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore, guys. It's week 12, all right? I don't know what's going on anymore. Sony Michel, probably healthy, not on IR anymore. We'll see if he plays. And Kerryon Johnson wanted to put out here. He is the PPR back, the pass-catching back, if DeAndre Swift is out. Now, Swift has been practicing this week, so I expect him to be ready to go week 12. Wide receivers, these, I'd say the top 3 are really good. And then, pretty much, a lot of these names could be added. Now, it's just that, all these names are pretty good, but that's why they're really not good, because it's a lot of quantity and not a lot of quality. Adding one of these guys starting is probably not going to separate you in your league. So it is what it is. Like, I'm a huge Cole Beasley fan, but if John Brown is healthy and week 12, he might not ball out. He's still worth an add. Definitely have him as your, fifth best wide receiver or sixth best wide receiver. Yes, do that. But starting him this week, really only if you're desperate, So I'm just being honest. Deebo Samuel, though, that's kind of a splash. Like, you got to get him. He is expected to play and be back, and we all know that he's a stud. Nelson Aguilar, a little bit up and down, or at least week 11, he put up some poopy numbers, but he was back. And, this guy looked like a legit wide receiver one. He did have a drop. I think it was one. I know he had one pretty big drop, but other than that, he played very well. And he's the number one wide receiver for the Raiders. 9 targets this past week in a game when they almost beat the Chiefs. Michael Pittman, not necessarily getting enough targets, and his quarterback's Phillip Rivers, not really trustworthy. And in redraft, I just don't think he has a great floor, but I'd be pretty excited if I had this guy in Dynasty. He just has that playmaking ability, and we don't really trust any of the other wide receivers for the Colts, so I love him in Dynasty. In redraft, he is okay. Excuse me. A sip. Sterling Shepard, another kind of sleeper, boring running back that can go under the radar. Russell Gage, 12 targets last week, mainly due to Julio's hamstring. Don't know if Julio's going to play. We can't trust them. If he does play, he might be limited. It's just been a mess for Julio this year, and it's just horrible, and it affects the whole Falcons team. Tim Patrick of the Broncos, and we got Denzel Mims. Got 8 targets this past week, and then 8 targets the game before. And so very, very consistent target, very high target share. He's been getting the most targets on his team the past 2 games. So that's definitely worth noting. I'm not sure quite why this is happening. Maybe it's part of the tanking scheme. Maybe Adam Gase stays even longer. I don't know what's going on. All right, I'm only looking at the stats, only telling you more targets your wide receiver gets, that equals more fantasy points. That's just the way it goes. KJ Hamler, Alan Lazard, Darnell Mooney, and we're getting into super deep league territory here. We've already gotten into super deep league territory. Jakeem Grant, number 2 wide receiver for the Dolphins, and Pringle is most certainly out, but Watkins might not return. I don't know. Keep tabs on that. If not, you can go with Demarcus Robinson or the risky Mecole Hardman and Steven Sims of the Washington football team. For tight ends, oh boy, these are some really good options. I think the top 4 names are really good. Maybe you can move Logan Thomas up. I'm just not a fan of the Washington offense, though, really. I just don't trust them that much. Colts are actually a good team. They just beat the Packers. It is what it is. Colts are a better team than the Washington football team. But Jordan Reed has the most upside for sure. And then between number 2, 3, and 4, Graham Burden and Logan Thomas, not really a big difference at all. It's basically a tie right there. We also got Dalton Schultz, number 5, number 6, Robert Tonyan, number 7. Keep in mind, Greg Olsen is out, probably done for the year. So we got Hollister and Will Dissly. Now, Will Dissly probably is ahead on the depth chart, but Jacob Hollister's could be getting more targets. It's really a coin toss here. I really don't know. I was a pretty big believer in Will Dissly, but he's really just not getting the targets I need. We'll just have to find out. And keep in mind, we're in super deep league territory here. Irv Smith, Jordan Akins, who had a good performance this past week, and Tyler Fart. For defenses, where's a good cutoff? These top 4 options are elite. Now, the Rams this week against the Niners is a good option, but I have them ranked so high really because of that week 15 against the Jets. Now, if you're making playoffs, You're going to probably lock up that round 1 bye week, week 14. Rams are a great add. You can start them this week. I can comfortably start them just about any week. And then you got them facing the Jets week 15, which is going to be bad for the New York Jets. Like, it's going to be so bad that week because Rams are going to be hungry, trying to lock up that playoff spot. They're in a tough division, and they're not going to take it easy on the Jets. No way. And, the Packers, I'd say, is a better defense this week, but that week 15 bonus, in case you keep the Rams. Oops. Sorry, I got to go all the way back. Oops, I got to go all the way back again. If you do keep the Rams D, that bonus is so big that I had to rank them ahead. I have these guys ranked how I would prioritize them on my waivers mostly. And so, you can change it up a little bit, but that's just how I haven't ranked to the best of my ability based on this week, the future, and all these other factors. So that's why the Rams are ahead of the Packers, even though I project the Packers D to score more fantasy points this week. We got the Giants D going against the Bengals, and they could be even better than the Dolphins D. Man, I might even rank them ahead because, Burrow he was that entire team, and he's out, and, we really could swap these two. Like, it's really close. So like I said, so these top 2 options are super, super elite, and then 3 and 4 are elite options. And then it's kind of wishy-washy after that. We got the Seahawks D, who's not an amazing start this week, a risky one. But we're looking at a top 12 defense here in fantasy, guys. They've been pretty good. Of course, everyone's making fun of them. They're the worst pass defense, but they have improved. And they're facing the Eagles, which offers a lot of upside. And then look at this schedule. Like, they're facing 4 offenses that are trash. Like, they're facing the Eagles, make a lot of mistakes. They're facing the Giants, don't put up a lot of points, always low scoring games, and make a lot of mistakes. And they're facing the Jets. We all know that, worst team in the league. And they're facing Washington. Like, it's a great lineup here. And that's the next 4 games. That's like not, this is basically the rest of the fantasy season here. Saints D been playing really good recently and going up against the Broncos. I love them. You can even rank them as high as, the Rams D, but it is so close. And then the Colts D, not a good match. They don't have any good matchups. But you know what? They still keep putting up points. They're elite option every week. We're just used to streaming so much nowadays that when we get a good defense right in front of us, like the Colts, that we just ignore. Like, oh, they're playing a good team. But they put up points regardless. They get pressures. They're good D-line, good linebacker core, good defensive backs. They have everything. And they figure out a way to get points, whether it's sacks, whether it's turnovers. They're going to do it or create a low-scoring game. So I got to put them out here. If you can't get one of these top 6 options, I would go get the Colts. It's one of those that you're pretty confident that they're not going to screw it up for you and get you negative points or get you a 0. That's the Colts D right there. And that alone is pretty good. Kind of puts your mind at ease, and you only need 1 defense moving forward and no need to stream. After that, we have the Browns D, who I would have ranked in the top 3, but their best 2 players are out. That's Denzel Ward is out, and also Myles Garrett. That's a big difference. Like, it's huge for them. They're still great though. You can still start them this week against the Jags. Then we got the Vikings D. If Teddy Bridgewater is out, give them a little boost. And they also have a couple good matchups coming up, like the Jaguars and not the Bucks, but the Bears after that. Washington's going against the Cowboys without Dak Prescott. Cowboys going up against Washington. And also, remember how we used to stream defenses against the Jets every week? I think that's been replaced officially by the Bengals. That's the number 1 team you want to start defenses against. And look, the Cowboys D, nobody is adding them. You can get them as a free agent. If you're in a deep league especially if you're making playoffs. Oh, buddy, look at this here. Washington this week, they'll probably do, yeah, not great, but whatever, startable. And then week 14 against the Bengals. That's a great way to start off the playoffs when your defense is facing the Bengals, which I think now is gonna give the most points to defenses. They're gonna make so many mistakes. Their O-line is so bad. It's going to be horrible. And Joe Burrow is out. And Joe Mixon is hurt. Oh my God! Like what's going on? One more injury in this team. Like, can this team get any worse? Like, my God. In deeper leagues, though, we got the Broncos, Panthers, Bengals going against the Giants. Low-scoring game, maybe. Texans D, not trustworthy, but okay matchups. And Raiders D, somewhat decent matchups, but you don't want to trust them, do you? They suck. For kickers, we have some elite options here. I'd say the top 5 defenses are all super elite. No doubt, no exaggeration. Number 6, Kaimi Fairbairn, probably has the most upside out of any of these kickers. So the top 5 and top 5 is very reliable, very good, elite options. And then number 6 also is going to be a very good kicker, but not as reliable. He's more volatile. He's more up and down. But playing in a dome, going against the Lions, how are you not going to get opportunities to kick extra points and field goals against the Lions? They suck really bad. Their defense sucks. And then we got Tyler Bass, who's a very good kicker. So look at all these options. Matt Prater could be a good bounce back game. Great bounce back opportunity for him this week. And now in super deeply, well, I mean, there's still some good options, but I would say, try to get one of these top 5 options, if not top 7. And I'd probably be comfortable starting Matt Prater this week. Just keep tabs on Lions injuries. Of course, Galladay and the gang, if they're healthy, it's going to help out the Lions, help them move the ball up the field, get them in the red zone, get them in field goal range more, and that's going to boost Prater's value a lot more. So yeah, and I would say in deeper leagues, you got Nick Folk, Chris Boswell, who I've been starting recently, but probably won't start him this week. Still not a horrible start, though. Cody Parkey going against the Jags. Robbie Gould, not a great matchup, not a great situation, but I trust this guy. If they do get opportunities to kick field goals and extra points, I trust Robbie Gould to make them. Joey Sly, another good option. So we got a lot of kickers this week. Greg Zuerlein, Zane Gonzalez, Dan Bailey, and Ryan Suckup. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. We also have a second YouTube channel. It's absolutely free to subscribe to that one as well. Lots of great content on there. So make sure you sub to both YouTube channels. Links in the description, or it's right here. It's called Fantasy Couch Podcast. Smash that thumbs up. Everyone enjoy their Thanksgiving, Turkey Day. Be safe, and let's get that W, baby.